Hey guys, Jared here, and today we're going to check out the D1 Digital to Analog Converter, or DAC, from Audioengine. They claim that this DAC will improve the sound of my music, so let's find out if that's true. First, let's start with a quick disclaimer. I'm no audio expert. I'm just an average guy that wants some good sounding music. So hopefully I don't make too many audiophiles mad. With that in mind, let's continue. Inside the box there's some product information, a setup guide, a USB Type A to Type B cable, the DAC itself, and a microfiber bag containing a 3.5mm cable. I was pretty disappointed with the included USB cable. It's just 60 centimeters or 2 feet long, which is nowhere near long enough for me to plug the DAC into my computer under my desk. Luckily, I had a spare longer cable, so I've just been using that. The DAC is 3.5 inches by 4 inches by 1 inch, so it's fairly small. Overall, I think it looks great. The aluminium build keeps it lightweight and the materials have a premium feeling. The unit feels quite solid. On the front of the DAC we've got the volume knob, which turns very smoothly and feels nice, as well as the power button, which lights up to indicate that the DAC is on. Finally, there's a 3.5mm headphone jack. You can plug headphones straight into the DAC, which is also a headphone amplifier, and this will mute any speakers that you've got plugged into it. The headphone jack was one of the main reasons I was interested in this particular DAC. I like being able to just plug into it on my desk, rather than having to go under my desk to the PC. On the back of the DAC there are two analog outputs for right and left channels, an optional SPDIF optical input, which I haven't been able to test, and the USB Type B input, which powers the DAC from your computer and is used for data transfer as well. The bottom has some small rubber feet, although I didn't really find them to help much. The DAC still moves around very easily on my desk when I go to turn the volume knob, or plug in a cable. The DAC is completely plug and play, which was nice. You just plug it into either a PC or Mac via USB and it just works. Essentially, the DAC converts the digital signal from your computer into analog signal which our ears can hear. By having an external DAC like this, in theory it's not subject to as much interference as the built-in one within the PC would be, and it's supposedly higher quality, which should also improve audio quality, and that's what you're paying for, a higher audio quality than the built-in options. I've got the RCA outputs connected to my Audioengine 5+ speakers and they sound great. I'll be doing a video on those in the future, so keep an eye out. I admit I haven't got any other external DACs to test this against. This is my first one. Essentially I chose it because I already planned on buying Audioengine speakers, so I figured I'd get the DAC to go along with them. That, and I wanted something directly on my desk to plug my headphones into. In terms of sound quality, my ears probably aren't refined enough to notice the difference between the output of my Blue Yeti microphone, which is what I was using before the D1 DAC. Personally, I found it difficult to determine a difference between the two, keeping in mind that the Yeti is essentially acting as a USB DAC too. With some careful listening, I was able to determine that the sounds were slightly clearer through the D1 DAC. If I plug my headphones directly into my computer, the sounds from the external DAC are definitely noticeably better to me. Take all this with a huge grain of salt though. Each person has different ears and will notice different things. What sounds good to me might sound terrible to you, and I'm not talking about my taste in music. Something I did notice was that when I had the DAC on maximum volume, I could hear a little bit of background noise. It was faint, but definitely noticeable. To avoid that, I just leave the DAC around half volume and then adjust the volume on the computer instead, which I found worked better for me. Here are the rest of the tech specs. The DAC supports up to 192 kHz sample rates through the optical SPDIF input, and 96 kHz with USB. Unfortunately, I don't have any optical outputs to test with. Oh well, I probably wouldn't be able to notice the difference anyway. If you do plan on using it, keep in mind that the DAC does not come with a cable for it. After a while of use, the unit got a little warm to the touch, but no real issues there. So I got the D1 DAC for 250 Australian dollars, which is about 180 US dollars. However, I've seen it for as little as 129 US dollars on Amazon. I've left a link in the video description if you're interested. So the question is it worth it for that price? Honestly, probably not, but I'd say it depends. As I was going to spend significantly more in speakers and a subwoofer, I wanted something that I felt was adequate for these expensive purchases. With that said, the D1 is a great little unit, and I think the price is fair compared to other DACs that I've seen for sale. Overall, I think it sounds great, and I haven't had any major problems. So technically Audioengine were right. The DAC did improve the sound of my music. Listening to music is so subjective though, which I think is why Audioengine are providing a 30-day audition period with the D1 DAC, where you can listen to the D1 for 30 days and return it if you decide that you don't like it, as long as you buy directly from their store. I think that's a pretty good way of letting you try it out for yourself to determine if it's worth it. Also keep in mind that Audioengine suggests using the DAC for 40 to 50 hours to break it in before doing any critical listening. So what did you guys think of the D1 DAC by Audioengine? Overall, I think it's pretty decent. The quality is nice, it sounds great, however it's a little pricey and hard for me to say that it's worth it, as I have not personally tested other DACs with a similar price to compare against. Other than that, it would have been nice to get a longer USB cable included. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and leave a like on the video if you found it useful. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for future tech videos like this one.